Welcome to Travel Talk, the show where I interview people whose careers are focused on travel or have been inspired by travel. And what better way to get to know someone than to have a drink with them? I'm your host, David Hoffman from Davidsbeenhere, and today we're talking travel with Kelly Rizzo, creator of Eat, Travel, Rock, and we're having Bellinis today because we're both half Italian.
Salute, David. Thank you for having me.
No, grazie, grazie a te.
Grazie a te. Ooh, this is good.
This is delicious. Oh, yeah, it's a little too early for me to get.
It's never too early. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
So Kelly, tell me a little bit of your idea behind Eat, Travel, Rock.
So I really started this about 4 years ago or so. I've been a realtor for 17 years, and you know, the market tanked a little bit a few years ago, and I just wanted a life change. I'd been burnt out on real estate, and I went through a divorce. I just really needed to change things up, and I knew I was really passionate about food, travel, and music. I mean, 3 kind of widely loved things, right?
Who doesn't love that?
Exactly. So I was really passionate about them, I knew a lot about them, and so I started blogging, and I knew after blogging people started to respond to the writing aspect of it. And I knew I had wanted to be on camera more, and I teamed up with my producer, and we started Eat, Travel, Rock TV together to really create the content and bring kind of my vision of what I was writing about to the screen.
Great.
So we started Eat, Travel, Rock TV about 3 years ago, and it's just been this last year or so where it's taken off as far as the travel aspect. A lot of the beginning episodes were very food focused, and being from Chicago, they were more like Chicago local focused, but then this last year it's been very, very heavily travel focused.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you're from, a little bit of background.
Grew up in Chicago, born and raised, lived there my entire life, and just moved to LA. And as I said, you know, real estate background, the complete opposite of what I'm doing now. And it's just been really amazing to kind of go out on my own. I mean, I've never worked for anybody, even in real estate. It's like you have your own business.
Exactly. Your own
so
time.
I've never had a boss. I don't answer to nobody. And I just wanted to kind of create my own business and build my brand around it. And it's been very challenging. It's been a hustle, but so rewarding, as you know, that when your job is to travel the world, it doesn't really matter how many struggles you face and how many challenges you encounter. It's all worth it in the end.
Oh, you follow Sicilian?
Yeah, so my dad was born in Sicily, Santo Rizzo, and he and my Sicilian side of the family really instilled like the food passion that I have. In my mom's, you know, an Indiana gal, so I didn't really have a lot of that cultural, ethnic, really drive and like love for, you know, like a different culture. Like I didn't have that from my mom's side. You know, it was like meatloaf and chicken pot pie, like very, very all-American stuff. But from my dad's side of the family is where I really cultivated the love for other cultures and really unique foods. I mean, when you're 5 years old, and I'm sure you know this too, like you're eating, you know, snails and rabbit and clams, you know, it's something that a lot of American kids don't really experience.
And trying limoncello at that age.
Oh my God, limoncello. I was having sambuca when I was like 4, 5, 6 years old, and Gaudiano, and a lot of the, you know, Italian liqueurs. You know, my uncles would be like, oh, that's okay, she can have that. Let's just say my first time getting kind of drunk was 6 years old at a Greek restaurant because my parents didn't realize how much wine they gave me. So growing up with like a very culturally, you know, unique side of your family, I was very drawn to that. So even though I'm only half Italian, I feel like that's my entire culture because that's really what I grew up with.
Yeah, it's funny because, you know, I'm also have a real estate background. That's how I started. I don't know if I told you that.
You did not.
I did not.
Learning something new.
So I did real estate. Basically, I got my real estate license when I was 18. You know, my father.
Oh yeah, I was 20.
Yeah, so my father has his own practice. Got my license, and then I did that for a few years before I got into the travel thing. But it funded my travels, and that's how everything started. Both half Italian, and Italy really, for me, so eye-opening going there. feeling that culture. And
it was revolutionary for me, and that's what really inspired my obsession. But it was so interesting to me and so fulfilling to like be there and be like, wow, this is where my family's from. Like it was a very special feeling that I'm sure you can relate to that.
Yeah.
And that was my first time really going abroad or being in Europe was Italy when I was like 25 or 26. So a lot of people go to Europe when they're even maybe a little younger. I was a little bit older, and Italy was the first place that I went to, and I was like, this is it. This is it. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to experience. And ever since then, I was like obsessed.
Yeah, you're hooked.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, your show, tell me what your viewers can learn.
The way I approach it is I like to kind of experience whether it's the food, the music, the culture of a certain location, and kind of interpret it and kind of put it out there and have the viewers kind of see it through my eyes, and where I'm pretty approachable, pretty relatable, and I'm almost like their friend that's traveling along with them. And I do bring a lot of my personality to it. I, can act a little goofy sometimes. I can act a little silly sometimes. I can also act depending on the situation. I'm sometimes interviewing very important diplomats, and I have to bring a different energy to it. But regardless, I like my viewers to take away from it something that they can learn, and in a fun, energetic, relaxed manner where they can really relate to it and learn something, but also kind of have fun with it, and then see it through my eyes. And if I'm having fun, then they're having fun.
Exactly. There's travel, there's food. Where's the rock part?
So the rock part is a little loose, where it's not always just like rock music. It's there's a lot of country. Sometimes the genres of music can vary, but I love to bring food and music together, and the travel kind of comes with that. So let's say I'm going to Coachella. Well, I'm traveling to go there. I'm eating amazing food, and then I'm watching incredible music or listening to incredible music while I'm there as well. So I love when I can go to a certain destination and bring everything together. Like I was just in Virginia a couple weeks ago, and a lot of people don't know Virginia has like a huge underground like rock scene. And so, I'm going to like underground music venues and music clubs and exploring their music situation while I'm going to awesome restaurants and really bringing the travel, the food, and the music all together.
You're going to Switzerland. You're going to eat fondue. Are you going to hear yodeling? Or what's the music like?
I am going to see Imagine Dragons in Switzerland.
Imagine Dragons. Okay.
So talk about bringing rock music and food and travel together. I'll probably be eating fondue while listening to Imagine Dragons while in Switzerland. Top that, people.
That's awesome. What's the destination that you think combines the best of the food and experience with music?
I don't think there really is any better place at least domestic, that combines food and music better than Nashville. I think Nashville, especially since I'm very, very obsessed with country music, they have clearly the best country music in the world. The last few years, their food scene has exploded. Where some of the country's top chefs, like Jonathan Waxman, just amazing chefs are going there and opening up restaurants. And their food scene just a few years ago was, barbecue, fried chicken,
that's what I heard.
Nashville hot chicken. That was really all it was. And now it's becoming a much more high-end, prestigious food scene with some of the world's greatest chefs. So not only do you get the music aspect, you get the food aspect, but if you want some fried chicken, of course they've got it too. So you can still get that, people. Don't worry.
I have to go. I've never been.
Oh my God.
I know.
Of all the places you've been in the world.
There's too many places. It's like, my God.
Well, Nashville should be up on your list because every year they're just getting more and more I don't know if I want to say cosmopolitan, but definitely more catering to the higher end traveler as well.
Okay.
And it's still one of those places where you can experience like the luxury end of travel, and then go on Broadway Street to all the honky tonks in your cowboy boots, and you know, stomp your boots to some like live country music. You know, so it's got everything.
So if you love food and music, head to Nashville.
Yeah, that was a good little plug for Nashville.
You know, for me, my specific trip that changed my life was my trip to Spain and Italy when I was 15. What was the trip or moment that you knew that you wanted to travel and make a career out of it?
I would say, because I grew up in the Midwest, which is also like the most boring terrain in the world, and there's like not a whole lot going on. My first trip to Italy, into Rome, when I was walking down the street with my sister, and all of a sudden I'm walking down this narrow little cobblestone street, and to the right like emerges the Pantheon, and I'm like looking at this building, and I'm like, this is 2,000 years old, and I'd never seen anything like that in my life. I mean, even if you went to New York or DC, like the oldest building you're going to see is what, 200 years old? Yeah. Maybe something from like the 1700s, if that. But to see something that was 2,000 years old, that like the Romans built, and that has been standing in that location for that long, it was like so bone chilling to me that I was just absolutely blown away, and I was standing in it just like with my jaw dropped open, like I can't believe I'm here right now. Like, am I really experiencing this? And my sister felt the same way, and I'm like, that's it. Like, I need to experience this. Like, I need to experience cultures that are more than 50 years old. You know, like I need that feeling of history and like exploration. And, you know, sitting around the Midwest just wasn't cutting it.
Yeah, no, I feel the same. I mean, when I went to Italy, the same thing happened. So if you don't know about the Pantheon, it's the oldest surviving Roman temple. It was actually built during paganism in Rome, and when you go into it, it's free to access. There's an oval shape, it's like a hole,
the
right?
oculus,
The oculus. And it's an amazing place. The sun, if you go in there at different times of the day, you get sunlight in different areas, and some really good food around there, and delicious gelatos.
Oh my god,
I know.
The gelato there, and that was the first. I had just gotten to Italy for my very first time. Go to the Pantheon and found a little cafe like right in that little piazza, and my sister and I just like ate pizzas there all day. Like, we couldn't leave. We're like, this is so majestic, we couldn't leave. Funniest, most crazy story that's happened to me traveling. Actually, this was not very long ago. This was maybe a year ago, and I was doing a trip, a road trip actually, a culinary road trip around California, and this was for a tourism board, and I had an itinerary that was a little bit less desirable than some of the other California itineraries. Mine was Stockton, Sacramento, Placerville, and then Lake Tahoe. I'm like, oh, I'm ending up in Lake Tahoe. This is amazing. I've always wanted to go. And this was dead of winter. So it was, even in Sacramento, it was 35, 40 degrees. And I brought my friend Tiffany. And I'm like, we're going on this California road trip in the middle of winter. We're getting to California. It's going to be amazing. And she was so excited. So every city we went to was a little bit less than luxurious, and it was freezing cold. And then one of our destinations was in Placerville, which was in the middle of the El Dorado National Forest, which was where all of the gold mining took place. Like, this is where the gold rush, like the beginning of the California gold rush. And we had to stay at this hotel in Placerville that was a haunted hotel. No joke. Has not changed one bit since like 1880, like since the gold rush. And the room I think the last time the room was updated was like in 1960, and they were like just these paintings, or not paintings, like portraits of like women from like the 1800s, like all over the walls.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, these people for sure like died in this hotel. Like it was known to be a haunted hotel, but like when you go in there, like you feel like, holy shit, like I've never experienced anything like this. And my friend's like, what trip did you take me on? Like, I thought we were gonna be like palm trees and, you know, luxury California, like, you know, Laguna Beach, and we're in a haunted hotel in the middle of the forest where like the gold rush took place, and it was scary as hell. And then we go to Lake Tahoe, and I brought all my snowboard gear to be able to snowboard in Lake Tahoe for one day. And the one day we get there, the entire mountain broke down and all the power went out on the mountain. So I brought all my snowboard gear and I didn't get to snowboard. So I don't know about funny, but it was definitely interesting. And it was a trip that, even though it was a little odd, my friend and I were like, we will remember this for the rest of our lives. So the point is, I don't know if she'll be coming on any trips with me anytime soon. Sorry, Tiffany.
So I'm gonna ask you some rapid fire questions, okay?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Favorite food?
Pasta.
Pasta. Obviously. Favorite drink?
Like booze, Negroni for sure.
Negroni. Nice.
It's my go-to.
So music venue?
Joe's Bar, Joe's on Weed in Chicago. Best country venue in the country.
City with the friendliest people?
Portland, Oregon.
Favorite airport?
Zurich.
Favorite airline?
Domestic, United, International, Swiss.
So place you can return to again and again and never get bored?
New York.
New York. Okay, so where are you off to next?
So today I go to Chicago, and then next week Switzerland, Italy, and Sicily. So nowhere exciting really.
Yeah, right? All right, so if you want to learn more about Kelly Rizzo, please follow her on Instagram, subscribe to her YouTube channel,
Yep.
and
if you like what you saw here, which of course you did, you better click like and subscribe to David's channel.
thanks, Kelly. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Grazie.
Gracias a usted. Cheers. Let's keep it going.
Salute.